And they would give us like reading comprehension tests, listening, all these different tests. And I was flying through it because I wasn't affected like that. Like my intelligence wasn't really affected. My memory, more of my long-term memory, I think was affected, although it wasn't like officially considered that. But I remember going through it and they had the whole building set up for rehab to go back to work. So there was like, they had built like a store within this building. They were
Wow.
training people to do retail, supermarket setup, all these things. And I'm like you said before, no, I've never worked in retail. I'm not going to retail. Like I was a teacher. I was a counselor. I was in social work. Like to me, and it's horrible to say, but I'm like, I'm better than that. And it was horrible. But again, another experience that's demeaning and like it makes you feel less than you were. And I remember that being really difficult for me. Like, and then they wanted to send me, it was horrible. You're bringing up all these memories for me. They wanted to send me to a place to work called Mary Haven. And that's for the really severely affected cognitive people, but people that were born with these disabilities. So it's not far from my house, but they had to set up transportation. They wanted me to go there to try to work for like a week. And I'm like, okay, I knew nothing about it.
Hmm.
So I go there and first they wanted to put me on a bus because my sister worked full time. She couldn't bring me each day and, yada, yada, yada. They set up transportation. Now, this is sort of a funny story. This is why we say the lighter side of stroke
Right, right.
because the little bus came to my house, the Mary Haven bus, and I got on and there was deaf people, there was all types of people with disabilities, right? I get on the little minibus, I sit in the way back, and now I'm just like hanging out, waiting to go to Mary Haven. And it's like 3 miles down the road. So as I'm sitting there, these two deaf. Yeah, they were deaf and they were in their 20s probably, and they were on their way too. They got picked up by the bus. They started arguing in front of me in sign language,
Okay.
right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it started to get really like,
You did?
oh my gosh, they're going to attack each other. Here I am in the back of the bus. There's no aid, there's no bus aid. And
Right.
I'm like stopping these two deaf women. And I'm like, because that's me. And I'm like,
But
no, stop, calm down. And they don't hear me. I can't sign language.
You don't
So
know what
I
you're
was
arguing
they're
about
just
either.
flipping you off?
like, oh my gosh, what am I involved in
But
now? So now I get to Mary Haven and they introduce me now in the back of the building. That's where they have all like the factory workers, like doing little menial tasks like packaging and I don't know. There was all these different things. Now I can't use my left hand at all. So I'm like, I need to find something that I can do with one hand. And I can do a lot with one hand,
Yeah.
but the fine motor skills are very difficult for me. So they put me at this one table. I think I was sorting nuts and bolts or something. I mean, something that, a kindergartner, first grader can do, and again, there's that humiliating feeling like, what am I doing here? Yeah, I want to be challenged. I was at this point, I think I was 36, 37, and I still felt like I can get back into teaching. So I'm like, no. I got on the bus, they drove me home. I looked at my family and I said, I'm never going back. Like, there's absolutely no way. So I went back, I contacted my social worker at Access VR, and I said, "No, that's not gonna work for me." And they're like, "Well," I said, "You know what you could do for me? Because they have to find something that you can do, so you can be active again and working." So I said, "I'm teacher, like, why can't you?" Because I was in the process of getting my master's to get my certification
Yeah.
when this happened to me.
Right. So that
So
was
I
me too.
said, they would pay for someone to go for their bachelor's degree if that was something that was necessary for them to get back to work. They would pay for a bachelor's. I'm like, I have my bachelor's. I said, why can't you just pay for my master's so that I can do it, online or whatever it was? and get certification, then I can go back into teaching. No, they won't pay for a master's. What kind of sense does that make?